that the GO said was that that every one of us, there's going to be something significant that is going to happen that is greater than anything that has ever happened before in your life, and that the next rainfall is going to signify the end of our dry season. And that his advice to all of us is that when that rain falls, we should go under the rain, let it soak us. Those were his words, they're on tape. So, this morning at 4 a.m., I know I'm meeting it my time, but I'm trying to help everybody because, for everything we do, we need spiritual backing. So if I was you, before I leave this place, I will stay under that rain and get wet and prophesy that this is the end of the dry season in my life. And it shall be so in Jesus' name. Amen. It's good morning once again, and it's a pleasure to be here. My topic is simply moving forward. Moving forward. And it's a simple topic which talks to the fact that every single person can move forward. Even a baby, when you put a baby down, it starts to walk. It moves from one place to the other. If we, for instance, told ourselves that let's all walk to VGC, as far away as that is, if we start walking now, in about 30 minutes to an hour, we'll have got somewhere, don't you agree? Yes, we would have left where we are now to move forward, which tells us that even when you think you don't have anything, you have energy. You have legs to walk. So God has deposited in each and every one of us some skill, some talent that we can work on to take us from the position that we are now to a better place, to a higher place. And we have to hold on to that. Because too many times we look at the things that we do not have rather than the things that we have. And it doesn't matter where you are. Could be you're starting out your career, you're still in school, you're trying to get an education, you're in the middle of your career, or you're even retiring. You've finished a particular phase of your career and you're wondering, what do I do next? You can move forward. That's one message I want you to take away today. And there are a number of principles that I would like us to focus on, which will define the way we think and, by God's grace, transform our minds and ultimately our behavior. There was a scripture that the Tibreakers included in their letter of invitation, and it was found in Exodus 36 verse 1. Exodus 36 verse 1. I won't read all of it, but the aspect of it that I found very interesting was, it says, the Lord put wisdom and understanding to know how to work all manner of works. To know how to work all manner of works. And it tells us that everything that we need is already in us. First of all, like a seed is in us. Now, all that we need to work all manner of works has been placed in us. And we need to change the way we view our skills differently. Because we all were raised in a very British traditional sense, which focuses on education. Indeed, our society places a lot of premium on going to school. And yes, you must go to school, because going to school trains your mind. It helps you think. So it's important to go to school. But the education, the degree in itself, is not that important. So I hope you're getting the point I'm making. It's important to go to school because education trains your mind. Somebody who has not been educated has an untrained mind, which means that Even in terms of structuring things, thinking in a particular way. Even our grandfathers, they were trained, they were taught, they sat at elders' feet and were taught. For somebody who has had no external intervention, you find that person typically had a challenge. So it's important for you to go to school, but when you are going to school, when you come out with that degree is of itself really nothing. All you have is something that says, I now know how to think. So whether it was in biology, physiology, history, law, whatever it is, we heard from Pastor Kenny. She studied how to do law. Yes, that's good. But now she now has to apply all the things she's learned in the real life. So we're talking now about skills. What skill set do I have? Some people in the process of going to school now understand that, they have a skill for logistics, or they have a skill for speaking. Maybe they're motivational speakers. But it's the skills that you get from work that you are able to apply to your life. So we're talking about real life skills that you need to survive in the world. I'm sure there are many of us who are graduates here, and many of us who have been looking for jobs for a long time. But even in the job, what they're looking for in that job is skills. If I take where I work now, in a bank, we're trying to grow our revenues rapidly. So one of the most important skills we're looking for now is people who are salesmen. Skilled. There's some people, they can sell. If I was a salesman, a very good salesman, I can sell this thing to you and you take it away happily. You didn't need it to, you don't even know what it's for, but you give me money and you take it away. That's a salesperson. So people are natural salespeople. It's in their DNA. Other people don't even know how to do it. So the point I'm making is that skills are so critical. So whether you're going into a formal career, whether you're an entrepreneur, whatever area you are, you have to be able to tell yourself, what are my skills? So for instance, if I gave you 1 minute now, and I said, mention 2 skills that you have. I didn't say mention the degree. I didn't say mention what master's or PhD you got. I said, what skills do you have? If you can't answer that question, you have to go back and think. Because you have some skills. You don't know what it is, maybe, but you need to find it. And the reason why it's so important for you to understand the skills that you have, because once you do, it opens up opportunities for you that before you didn't think were there. Because all you are focused on was, I have an economist degree, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer. It wasn't, what skills do I have? When you know the skills that you have, you can apply it in a very, very intelligent manner to do all manner of work. You can apply it across sectors. You can apply it in different countries. You can apply it whether you're a junior clerk or whether you're an MD. It doesn't matter what level you are. But because you understand the skills that you have and you are developing the skills, some people have the skills for language. Do you know? There's some people that can learn 3 languages in 3 months. Some of us, 20 years, you can't learn 1 language. But some people have a skill for language, and it's just God put it in them. So if they don't realize that skill and try and understand, how can I use this skill in a way that a company is looking for this particular skill of mine, and I also show them that I have it, their eyes will be closed to that opportunity. They will be looking for jobs. They will be going around applying for jobs without fully understanding the skills that they have. So our skills help us to push the boundaries that are around us. And many times these boundaries are of our own making. Okay? They're of our own making. Many times the boundaries are in our mind. Some people will say, I've been working for 15 years, so I can only take a job of this level. So they've shut out maybe, 80% of the opportunities in the marketplace. I was reading the book written by Sheryl Sandberg, Lean. And she was saying that when she got an offer to work in Facebook many years ago, that people were saying, how can you live where you are? You can't work for a 23-year-old. 23-year-old. She was in her maybe 40s or so. Why would you want to do that? It wasn't until somebody told her, they said, come on, this is the future. This is a growth industry. This is an area that, you can expand. Today, she's the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company. In fact, her name was listed as one of the richest women because part of her negotiations, she asked for equity. So the company was worthless. By the time they did an IPO and everything, she's now one of the richest women, globally. So what am I saying? She didn't allow the fact that it was a younger person that she was going to report to constrain her. She didn't allow the fact that she was going into an uncertain industry at the time, but it was a growth industry. So she opened her eyes to the opportunities. It enabled her push the barriers that normally she would have set around her that would have prevented her from stepping forward. Passion is the next thing I want to talk about. A young lady came to meet me and she said, she's looking for a job, she wants some counseling, she's trying to get a job in a bank and everything. So I asked her a question. I said, if money wasn't the issue, so let's pack money, you had all the money in the world, what would you do? And she kept quiet. And she said, bake, and she was smiling. In fact, her face lit up when she said, I will bake. Okay, so obviously, she has a passion for cakes and baking, but she's constrained because, we can be talking about passion, but she needs to eat, she needs to go out, she needs to buy clothes for herself. But the reality is that if the skills that you have are related to, baking or cooking or something like that, ultimately that's where your success would lie, and it might not directly be involved in actual baking, but it's in that sector, it's in that area, and ultimately you have to look for ways where you can find an entry point into that space. So moving on to talk about potential, because many times the opportunities are right under our nose, but where we can't see them. We have to find out where are the growth sectors. I mentioned, Facebook and the whole social media space earlier. That's a growth area. Many people don't look out for that. 5 years ago, had anybody heard of Jumia, how do you pronounce it? It's an online shopping. Their revenues now, I understand, we're talking millions and millions, something that didn't exist before. But it's a convenience, and people are willing to pay for it. I listened to a young man sometime last year talk about the travel agency he set up. How many people here have heard of Waka now? Yes. It didn't exist before. In fact, the man in question doesn't know anything about IT. He says he doesn't know anything about IT. All that happened was that he was trying to pay for his tickets. He's lived in the US, he went to study there, he played basketball, came back, still in his 30s. He said he tried to pay online, something that in the US you do without even thinking about it. And he said he found it difficult in Nigeria. He said, how come you can't pay? I have my money, I have my cash, you're telling me to go to a bank and pay. Why can't I pay online? And he said he found some IT software developers, paid them some small money. Develop a travel agency for me. And he said he called it Waka Now. You know what Waka Now is? Waka. He said he wanted everybody to know that it was a Nigerian company. But Waka Now it's the best and only, and I'm aware of, online travel platform in Nigeria. I'm not talking about each of the different airlines having their own payment platforms, but it's the only one that you can go on, and if you want to go to Egypt or anywhere, you book. They even do travel. Last year, they were awarded the African Nation Cup. They partnered with South African Airways, so that anybody who wanted to go there, had to use Waka Now. So what am I saying? It didn't exist, and he didn't even know about IT, but he recognized the growth opportunity. And You will be surprised at the number of foreigners who are coming into Nigeria. Do you people notice more and more white faces? When you walk around, you see Chinese, you see, different colors. What are they looking for? They've seen opportunity in this country. I asked somebody to check the number for me of the amount of foreign investment, foreign direct investment, and not investment in the stock market. I'm talking about investment in industry that came in last year. In 2013 alone, $9.7 billion came in of foreign money into this country. What are they looking for? They're looking for a return. They can see opportunities. We in Nigeria, in the meantime, what do? We complain. NEPA or power, transport, or every problem that you see is an opportunity. Like Wakana, he saw a problem, he found a way of solving it. And if you ask him how much did he use to just pay that IT company, in fact, some of you are IT specialists in this place, I'm not sure it was more than 50,000 and 100,000. But it was a platform that started. So it's so important for us to recognize opportunities, to see problems as opportunities, to look at the growth areas. Today, the growth areas are power, I don't know how many of you are following it, but the federal government has handed over the power assets in generation and distribution to private sector owners, which means that those owners now, they have to hire staff, they have to build plants, order equipment. There's going to be a whole new value chain. You know how 10 years ago, before MTN and Econet and Glo came, there was not a recharge card. There was nothing like supplying telecoms with towers. So those things didn't exist. In the same way now, the power sector, over the next 10 years, you will see this same thing play out, where you'll be having power recharge cards, where you'll be having different facets. So you need to understand and see where can I benefit, or which aspect of this entire value chain, can I find an opportunity? And as you do so, you'll be amazed that there are many, many opportunities. Agriculture is a different thing completely. The richest people in England, in Europe, are farmers. They're farmers. Go and check. In America, the richest are the farmers. In Nigeria, it's the opposite. The poorest are the farmers. But it will change because of some of the changes that they're making to the agricultural sector. So in the next 10 years, the richest people will be farmers. They have land. At the Economic Summit last year in Abuja, they were able to find about 4 young farmers who came to tell us what they were doing. There was a 23-year-old boy. He says when he left school, he did a HND, that he got some money from his parents. He bought catfish. He started breeding the catfish. He says now, he smokes the catfish. He breeds it, smokes it, and sells it in the market. He's been able to buy a car from the proceeds of this catfish business. There was another lady who had land. They call her something farmer. She hired farmers to help her grow. She's growing cassava and things like that. We are laughing at them today. Watch them over the next 5-10 years. Another young man, they call him Mr. Brown Rice. He said he started his own because he had a health problem, so he was looking for brown rice. He said they couldn't find any in the market. So he said when he went to Ebonyi State and told the farmers there, please, I want brown rice. He said, they stopped cultivating it and nobody's interested in brown rice. So he said he begged them that, please, be growing for me. I'll buy everything. So he now started this, collected some small money from family and friends. When the farmers grow, they give it to him. He packages it. It looks like Uncle Ben's rice. I don't know if anybody has seen it. It's called Mr. Brown Rice. I should have brought one along. But what am I saying? These are young people who are taking advantage of opportunities. And as they continue and stay in that area of focus, you'll be amazed what they turn out to be in the next 10 years or so. I'll come back to talking about purpose and move on to governance. Governance sounds like a very big word, but somebody explained it in a way that is very simple, and I'll explain it to you. Because the reason why you need to understand governance is because governance is the foundation of any business that you can do. Governance means that you give everybody their fair share of what is due to them. So if I run a company, I collected money from some people, shareholders, to run the company. I hired some people, employees, so I have staff underneath me. Okay? I operate in a place, so I pay tax to the government. If I'm running proper governance in my company, at the end of the year, from the money I make, I will pay my staff their salary, or every month I will pay my staff the salary. I will pay taxes to the government. My shareholders, I won't tell them that, oh, the money finished, there's no dividend to pay you. I will pay them dividends. Governance simply means that when you are managing a business, you are managing it in a good manner. You are taking care of all the stakeholders' interests, every one of them. And you are making the right decisions so that your business continues to survive in the long run. The difference between companies who collapse and those who continue, usually, in most cases, is lack of governance. And we've seen it in the banking sector, we've seen it in other sectors, even airlines industry. If you find out why did this bank collapse, why did this airline collapse, no governance. The people managing the business might have been stealing all the money. They won't pay taxes. They won't pay their shareholders. They won't pay their staff on time. You understand? So governance is the foundation for a good business. If you want your business to grow, if you want people to support you, you must have governance. Governance brings favor to you. There are many foreign investors who come. They have billions of dollars. Billions. And they'll say, oh, we're looking for somewhere to invest. But it has to be a company that there's governance. Because this money that I'm bringing belongs to other people. Maybe shareholders that have given me, the fund manager, the money. So they're saying that, oh, if I invest in this company, I expect it to be properly managed. And they will return my dividends to me. But if there's no governance, I cannot give them the money. And it's so difficult to find governance in this country. Because governance is difficult. But they say, your wallet is too much. You want me to audit my accounts? Your wallet is too much. You want me to pay my tax. What are they giving me? So you have to have a proper revelation that this governance is so that your business will attract other people and will endure in the long term. It's a very important principle that I want you to understand, that it is the foundation to success. Even those people you see on the road, who are selling, whatever they're selling on the road. You cannot succeed by staying on the road. If you want to grow your business, you'll find some way that somebody can identify you and say, oh, okay, Mrs. X, this is where they live or this is where they do business. When somebody can identify you, that means that a bank, you can open an account with a bank. Because the first thing a bank asks when you come and meet them is KYC, know your customer, KYC. Where is your office? Let's write it. Where is your name? If you have no address, you can't move forward. So the point I'm making is that no matter how small, you have to introduce governance into your life. You have to deliberately tell yourself that because I want to do things properly, and when I do things properly, that forms the foundation under which I can get more and more support and continue to grow. I will do it properly. It's difficult, it's inconvenient, it will slow me down, but I will still do it. So governance is critical. Time management, there's no time to waste. Every day, every second, this is good time management. You're using this time productively to learn, to see how you can move yourself forward. Because every single hour, once it goes, it's gone. Many times people say, I'm waiting for a job. and waiting for, you have to find something to do. You have to take your skills and apply it. I tell people, even if they're not going to pay you, go and learn something. Tell them you work for free. As you're working for free, you're learning something. You're meeting people. You might meet a destiny helper in a place of work. But it cannot be that you sit down saying that you're not doing anything. Each day is passing. You're not, even if it's church work, find something to do to improve upon your skills. In University of Lagos, I understood they were teaching a course in Chinese. I keep on saying this, free of charge, Mandarin. If all you do is learn Mandarin, it makes a difference. I'm rounding up now because I can see Pastor Lamide walking up and down. But it's so important, and it's important for you to know the times and the seasons. Because opportunities come, and if you don't walk through those doors, that door might close. So it's important for you to ensure that, in everything that you do, you take advantage of the opportunity. Now, the last thing I will say is, if you don't have a purpose for what you're doing, it's very difficult to sustain it. Purpose means that you're doing this work for more than money. It's not only about money. The most successful businesses, they have been birthed out of purpose. The founders didn't say, I'm going to set up a company to make money. They would say, I want to form a school to change or train a generation of people. Or I want to set up a bank so that I can ensure that everybody has access to banking. So there is a greater purpose of service that has to be the thing that is propelling you. Because if it's only about money, invariably you won't last the distance. After a few weeks, months, years, you say you're going to do something else, and during the difficult and challenging times, there will be no passion to continue. So it's important for you to do something that you have a strong skill set, that you're passionate about, that focuses on a purpose. And I have no doubt in my mind that you will move forward. Thank you very much.